Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are here with our very first cooking foods from around the world for 2024. I asked you guys on Instagram and Facebook and even here on YouTube what countries you would like for me to find recipes to cook for you. And I chose the top 5 with the most votes. So I'm going to be making for you over the next few weeks a dish from Ireland, Scotland, Poland, Ethiopia, and Puerto Rico. So I'm excited to try this because I get to work with ingredients and dishes that I've never used before. So thank you for leaving comments on what country you would like to see a recipe from. So today I'm going to be making an Irish dish called Irish pasties. I think that's how it's pronounced. So as I was researching recipes, this one stuck out to me because it had an interesting story. So on Sundays, a lot of families would cook a big Sunday feast, and a lot of times in Ireland, it would involve a roast. So they would use the roast that was left over from their Sunday meal, and they would form it into a pastry, a meat and potato filled pie that could be handheld, and the miners would take this pie with them as their lunch throughout the week. And so I thought that was very interesting, and these handheld pies made it easier for them to eat as they were working in the mines. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I made a roast, just a basic roast. It's back there in the crock pot. Let me take you back to last night and show you how I cooked the pot roast. Okay, so for this roast, I have a beef chuck roast. This is not quite 2 pounds. I'm gonna be using some butter, salt and pepper, an au jus gravy, some beef broth, some minced garlic, onion, and then I have some rosemary here that I think I'm going to throw in as well. So let's get this roast cooking in the crock pot. So I've placed my chuck roast in the crock pot. You want to make sure and leave the fat piece on the top. That way the fat melts down into the meat. And I have coarsely chopped my onion, so I'm just going to add that in. I have these stems of rosemary. I'm just going to throw them in whole and then let it cook like that. And I will take the stems out after we have cooked. You could use garlic powder or whole cloves of garlic. I have like this much left in this jar of minced garlic, so I'm just going to use that. So I'm going to get all of that out and onto the meat. Next, I'm going to salt. I'm going to do 2 pinches because the beef broth is salted and my butter is salted, so I don't want it to be too salty. And then 2 big pinches of pepper. You can do this to taste. Next, I'm going to pour in my packet of au jus gravy. Now I'm going to add in half a stick of butter. I learned this from my Mississippi pot roast. It's so good. So I like to add a little bit of butter just to add a richness to this. And now all that's left is to add in the beef broth. The au jus gravy mix and this beef broth plus the juice that's going to come off of these ingredients is going to make a great gravy for the dish that we're making tomorrow. So there you have my basic pot roast. I'm going to put the lid on it, and then we are going to cook this on low for 10 hours. So the pot roast cooked all night long. It's delicious. I've tasted it. It's good. We're going to use that gravy too with these pies. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I've got to roast up my potatoes. I have just 2 russet potatoes here. Any potato will do. If you cooked your potatoes in the pot roast, you could just use that. You could use the carrots, the celery. If you added any vegetables to the pot roast, you can use that as well. I did not do that. So I am going to actually roast up some potatoes because I wanted the potatoes to not be mushy. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're just going to take the roast that I cooked, potatoes, the gravy, and some pie crust. And we're gonna make some Irish pasties. The first thing I need to do, I've already washed my potatoes. I'm going to peel them and I'm going to cut them into a dice. Now I'm going to take my diced potatoes, put them on a greased sheet pan. I'm going to drizzle with a little bit of olive oil. Then I'm going to use Kinder's, the blend. You can use whatever seasonings that you like. This is what I'm going with. I'm going to give it a toss. Now I'm going to put the potatoes in a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes. Here I have the roast that I made shredded up. And I'm going to add the potatoes to the bowl. I'm going to give that a toss to mix the potatoes with the meat. All right, so now we're ready to assemble. So in this pie crust, there's 2 crusts. I'm gonna be using both because we're gonna use half for each pasty, and so that'll make 4. So there's one of my pie crust. I'm just gonna cut that down the middle like that. I'm gonna lay this to the side like this. I'll do the other one like this. You could make your own crust if you wanted to. I thought I would take a shortcut from the store. So there are my 4 crusts. All right, so I have a greased sheet pan here. I'm gonna take one of my crusts. I'm gonna add the meat and potato mixture like this. And then we're going to fold like so. And we're gonna make the edge like this. This is a very rustic meal, and so all the recipes that I saw, this was how they did the edges. So we're gonna put a little slit at the top. I'm gonna take a fork and crimp these edges. I have said before on my channel, I'm no baker, so we'll see how this works. Okay. So there is one, the pasties. So I'll put that there. And then we're just going to repeat. Now I have my 4 Irish pasties here. I'm going to take an egg, just put a little egg wash on. These are going into 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes. And here they are out of the oven. They smell amazing. Let's get this plated up. And here we have it plated up with a little bit of that au jus. Let's give it a taste. Okay, here we go. Our Irish pasties. Here is a close-up. Right. I'm gonna cut this open. Let's see. No, it falls out. God, it's still so hot. And that's what the inside looks like. So here we have a bit. I've got some of that au jus gravy. Let's try it without the gravy first. That's really good. The meat and the potatoes, how can you go wrong? But the crust is really good. Let's try it with the gravy. Really good with the gravy. So that is an authentic Irish pasty, and it is so good. So that was really good. So simple. Y'all, it was meat and potatoes wrapped in dough and a pie crust. How can it not be delicious? It is also such a great way to use up your roast when you make it and you have something left over. Just wrap it up in a pie crust, bake it, and it's a handheld Irish pasty. So good, and I'm so glad that I gave that recipe a try because I think that's something that everyone will like and everyone must try. So I want to thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments below, will you make this recipe? What do you think? Do you think you would like it? Just leaving a comment down below helps me so much. It helps little old me. I'm looking forward to doing 4 more of these videos, so stay tuned. And like always, I love you guys. If you haven't already thought about it, subscribe. It helps out little old me. And I have a goal of trying to get 40,000 subscribers before the end of 2024. So help a girl out. I will leave a link down below to the recipe that I followed for these Irish pasties. And as always, I love you guys, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.